Hello there, welcome back to another YouTube video with Ungainly Titan, and this is one of the reasons for the lack of a Wednesday video. Fort Triumph has finally entered final release on Steam. It's no longer in early access, and I've been playing it quite a bit. Well, I've been playing the skirmish game quite a bit, and as per usual with all recent iterations of Fort Triumph, I got my ass kicked the first time I played. So what exactly is Fort Triumph? Well, it's kind of a cross between Dungeons & Dragons, XCOM, and Heroes of Might and Magic. Or at least Heroes of Might and Magic 3. I haven't played the whole series of Heroes of Might and Magic. I'm not really a fan of the series, but I am a fan of XCOM. And about 2 years ago I first came across this game because YouTube recommended a video that was, strangely enough, actually a useful recommendation. So you have a world map that you go around and you get encounters, and then you have basically a tactical battle, which you're looking at here, where you can utilize physics to or your abilities to engage the enemy units. So as you can look, the archer there's got stars rotating, blue stars rotating over his head, and that means that he has been stunned by an earlier attack. And that stun has basically robbed him of his actions. So he basically didn't act in this round, or he gets one action, which generally means not an attack, generally a move of some sort. So he moves, goes behind the cover of the mushroom. Now I've decided here, what is it? I'm going to start with the archer, the ranger unit, and I'm going to use the physics to move this guy so I get the two skeletons lined up. But I don't want the archer to act next, because the archer can't use a ranged attack while there's two units in melee contact. So I can bring the paladin up. Now the paladin's going to take a hit because it was my turn again, and the enemy skeleton archer was no longer stunned. However, I managed to stun the two skeletons. However, one of them got hit twice and died. Now I'm trying to stun the skeleton a second time. However, the chances were pretty low, and I don't have any stunning options that will stun him again. So I'm now reduced to doing as much damage as I can from a ranged attack, and then hoping that he doesn't kill my archer, but he does. So I have now no archer. Now I could reject the result in the sense that I could restart the battle and try again, or I could load from the autosave, because it autosaves at the start of every battle, and start again, or refuse to actually do the battle and wait until I'm stronger, where I could more guarantee the result. It's kind of a first battle, and I decided to take the loss because the replacement, shall we say, ranger won't be necessarily any worse than the guy I had, or the replacement unit. Now this is just looking at a higher level units. This is the savage, one of the units you can get. This is the human faction, and this is the skill tree. So this looks at the base skills and where their current upgrades are. You also have limited customization options. You can actually fiddle around with. You've got a limited palette of colours you can use in these customization options, but it's basically just changing some of the colour schemes on part of the clothing and the hair of the various characters. So this is the savage. You saw the ranger in the last melee combat, tactical combat element. This is the mage. They have certain characteristics that they get generated randomly at the start when their character is created. And the other character is a paladin, and we have 2 infantry slots available at the moment. You start out with 1. So I have 3 consumables in each of the infantry slots and 1 permanent magic item. The consumables are, as you can imagine, they're consumed. You use them once in a battle. And you have the various skills that the character has. Now, as you can look here at the paladin, you have a red running figure. That's a cross-class skill. So essentially when the characters get enough experience to level up, you get a if they have a new ability, if they have the option of a new ability, you get the new ability shown. And sometimes that ability is a non-class ability. These are the possible upgrades. I could build a stable. And I have a plot to build it in, but you can have more buildings available than plots. This is the guild upgrade, and these are the next 3 heroes that are available if I decided to say, or had the option of creating a party and remove some of the heroes from the town's garrison. You have 2 game modes. You have the skirmish mode and the campaign mode. The campaign is essentially the story campaign, and the skirmish mode is essentially like Heroes of Might and Magic. You start off with a town with some little or no buildings in it, no upgrades. You gather resources, Bitcoin and magic in order to upgrade the town. Buildings, the town buildings can either say some of them generate more Bitcoin, some of them can, depending on the faction, you can get ones that will generate some magic in a limited amount. And some of the buildings will upgrade the capabilities of your party. You can also buy heroes in the town. The heroes start off at first level with no experience. So if you want experienced heroes, you've got to take them into a party, march them around the countryside and get them involved in fights in order to generate experience. The other thing that fights generate is renown, and renown buys you guild upgrades. If you lose the town, you lose access to the town's building upgrades, but you keep your guild upgrades. However, you've also lost the interface to the guild upgrades, so you can't buy more until you regain your town. If you lose your town and your party, or all your parties, you're out of the game, you've lost. And the enemy factions have won. Obviously, you win the skirmish game by basically taking out all the enemy factions, or taking out the surviving enemy faction if that's the only one left. You can eventually upgrade your party membership to up to 5 party members. But that's a guild upgrade, same as the inventory slots in the party is a guild upgrade. However, the number of heroes you can put into the field is a town upgrade. And that increases by upgrading the town's citadel. So you upgrade the initial fort to a citadel to a castle. And that gives you more heroes. Capturing enemy towns, or faction towns belong to other factions, also increases the number of heroes you can put into the field, as well as making available heroes from other factions. It also makes the guild, the town buildings that upgrade your heroes from the other factions available to your heroes, even if your hero is not the same faction. So goblin upgrades become available to the human heroes, or undead upgrades. Now, there's certain intrinsic stuff that's intrinsic to, say, humans or undead or whatever. That doesn't cross over. The campaign game is essentially the same thing, except with story encounters added in. And at least in one iteration of the campaign, you did lose access to your initial town for a while. I didn't play through it to the point where I regained access, so I'm not 100% sure how that played through. The reason I bring it up is because it's just something to be aware of. I don't want to spoil the story too much, though. And I'm not sure about party size or how it fits into the campaign game, because I stopped playing the campaign game for about 6 months now, I'd say. And in fact, I kind of limited my contact with Fort Triumph in its latter iterations, simply because I wanted to retain something that would be fresh and new when I started playing the final version of it that was going to be released. So I'm likely to do a playthrough video of the skirmish game, probably with the human faction on the grassland map, or maybe with other factions, and then I'll probably do a video playthrough of the campaign game, and there'll be near future releases. Overall, I would actually recommend the game. I really enjoyed this game all through its development cycle. I found it a very challenging game. I've had 2 playthroughs of the skirmish game so far, and I got my ass kicked the first time I did it. I managed to win the second time round. albeit that was a win that was achieved by not necessarily accepting, shall we say, the outcomes of all the battles. Sometimes I did reload them until I actually won them, or decided that the fight wasn't winnable in the first place, and just went on and took a different approach to the subsequent or to the development of the game, or even reloaded from a save game and tried a different strategy. You will have to work out the best way to win. I have a particular way that I think works, at least with the human faction. Be interesting to try it out with other factions and see how it goes, but I won't do too many playthroughs, at least initially, and I won't do a kind of a full review until later on. But I would definitely recommend the game, and I would hope that you enjoy it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please press like, comment, share. It really helps the channel out, and if you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.